It was supposed to be just another awards night in Los Angeles. Red carpet, flashing cameras, celebrity digs wrapped in jokes. Nothing unusual until the pastor, television preacher, and businessman Joel Osteen showed up, wearing a sleek dark green suit, subtly tailored, and his signature smile. Joel entered with his head high, but he wasn't alone. Walking beside him was his husband, Daniel Whitmore, a former Marine, quiet, steady, not a celebrity, but the kind of man who turned heads by presence alone. The press noticed him. "Who's that with Joel? Is that his security?" "No, that's his husband, a vet, I think." Inside the ballroom, everyone was buzzy. Then the lights dimmed and out walked the actor Will Smith, host of the night. Suave, charming, smiling, but with an edge that had cut plenty before. "Ladies and gentlemen," he beamed, "we've got moguls, stars, and even some people who think the earth is perfectly flat." Laughter. And here comes Joel Osteen, America's favorite voice of positivity, bringing along a husband who looks like he just wandered off a Marine recruitment poster. The crowd chuckled. Joel's smile didn't move, but his husband's jaw tensed. The actor wasn't done. "Honestly, I thought that was his bodyguard until I saw the wedding ring." "He married him? What? Was Jason Bourne busy?" Louder laughter now. Joel's face was calm but resolute. Daniel leaned in quietly. "You okay?" He nodded. "I'm fine, but he's not." The camera panned past their table. Joel gently placed his napkin on the table, stood up, and walked backstage with Daniel. The actor Will Smith, unaware of what he'd just triggered, continued hosting. But something had shifted. Something was coming. The actor Will Smith had just wrapped up his fourth joke about Hollywood's latest streaming wars when the room lights dimmed suddenly. He paused, confused. Then a new spotlight snapped on. Stage left. From the shadows emerged Joel Osteen. He wasn't scheduled to speak. He hadn't been invited on stage, but here he was, calm, confident, cutting through the silence in stilettos. Even the actor had to blink. Joel, what are you doing?" He took the second microphone, didn't look at him. Instead, he turned to the audience. "Since the actor brought me into the conversation, I figured I should respond." Nervous laughter. "You know, it's easy to stand up here and mock people who don't live in your world. But the actor didn't just mock me. He mocked my husband, a man who spent 10 years in the Marines, a man who faced real danger, not stunts and cameras." The room tensed. Even the A-listers stopped sipping champagne. Joel kept going. "When I walked in here tonight, I knew I wasn't your kind of guest. I don't come from Hollywood. I come from faith, from community, from people who believe that respect isn't a punchline." He glanced briefly at the actor, whose smile had faded completely. "And as for the joke, if you're going to make fun of my husband, at least try to be original. Comparing him to Jason Bourne. That's cute, but trust me, Jason Bourne would have lost to this man in a second." That got a reaction. Cheers, whistles, even a few standing ovations from veterans in the back rows. Joel let the applause settle, then dropped the final line. "Will, I don't need to be a movie star to command a stage. I just need to tell the truth." And with that, he turned, walked off, and left the spotlight flickering behind him. Backstage, Daniel waited by the curtain. "That was something," he said quietly. Joel smiled. "Finally, that was just the beginning." Backstage, the actor Will Smith paced like a lion in a shrinking cage. Producers whispered in his earpiece, "Let it go, Will. Just move on with the script." But he wasn't wired that way. Joel's impromptu speech had landed like a right hook, and now cameras were rolling. Social media was already ablaze. Clips of his quote, "I don't need to be a movie star to command a stage," were spreading like wildfire. The actor didn't care. He wanted to win. He walked back out, adjusted his cuffs, and forced a grin. "Well, I guess I just got a sermon from the first gentleman of positive thinking." Some laughed awkwardly. Others just watched. But hey, let's be honest. If I had $1 for every time a person of faith told me they were offended, I'd be richer than I already am. A few claps, mostly tension. The actor pushed harder. "Look, I respect the troops, but let's not confuse being married to a Marine with knowing everything about moral leadership. There's a difference between experience and ego." Oof, the air went heavy. Even his own table froze. Not because it was bold, because it was dumb. Backstage, Daniel had been quiet, still was. But now he stepped forward. "You good with me walking in there?" he asked Joel. He didn't answer. He just stepped aside. Seconds later, the double doors to the stage creaked open again. This time, it wasn't Joel, it was him. Daniel Whitmore, 6'2", broad shoulders, calm fury in every step. He walked straight down the center aisle. No rush, no apology, just presence. The audience turned in slow motion. The actor Will Smith looked up and blinked. "Can I say something?" Daniel asked, his voice steady. The mic tech, shocked, just handed him a live one. Daniel turned to the crowd, then calmly faced the actor. "You can joke all you want, but the moment you questioned his moral leadership, you made it personal." He earned his voice. "You just act like you deserve yours." Boom. One sentence, one reaction. The entire front row gasped. The actor was speechless. Daniel nodded once, handed the mic back, and walked out. Not another word, but the message, it shook the walls. By the time the awards show cut to commercial, Twitter, now X, was already on fire. Hashtags like "Daniel did that," "Marine MS drop," and "Sit Down Will" were trending nationally. Clips of Daniel's calm walk to the stage and his one-liner, "He earned his voice, you just act like you deserve yours," had been posted, reposted, slowed down, remixed. A former Marine speaking not in anger but in truth, and people listened. Fox News ran a segment within the hour. Joel Osteen's husband shocks Hollywood with silent strength. But it wasn't just the conservative outlets. ENN's Kyron read, "Veteran confronts Will Smith. You just act like you deserve it." Even late-night hosts like Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel, normally allies of the actor, hesitated to defend him. Why? Because it didn't look like a joke anymore. It looked like a man punching down and a couple standing up. The next morning, Joel's inbox exploded. Supporters, veterans groups, community leaders, journalists. Some had never written him before, but they all said the same thing. You didn't have to yell. You didn't have to fight dirty. You brought a man of honor to a room of ego, and the truth spoke for itself. Daniel didn't even check his phone. He was in the kitchen brewing coffee like it was just another morning. Joel, still in his robe, looked over. "You know, you kind of blew up the internet last night." Daniel smirked. "I didn't do anything but say the truth." He raised an eyebrow. "That's exactly why it worked." Back in Los Angeles, the actor Will Smith sat in his home office watching it all unfold. Every clip, every reaction. His name wasn't trending for a movie. He was trending for being put in his place. "That man is dangerous," he muttered. He wasn't talking about Daniel's military background. He was talking about influence. The actor Will Smith's team scrambled. A full-blown crisis had erupted overnight. Interns were combing social media, flagging the worst clips. Publicists were on the phone with Vanity Fair and GQ, pitching exclusive interviews to steer the narrative. "We can frame it as humor gone wrong," one aide suggested. "Or call it a misunderstanding," another offered. The actor stared at them all. "Number, we don't apologize." The room fell silent, but deep down the actor knew he was losing something more valuable than screen time control. Meanwhile, at his ministry's headquarters in Houston, Joel was at a press availability. He didn't bring up the awards show, didn't mention the actor Will Smith, but the press did. A reporter raised her hand. "Mr. Osteen, any comment on last night's viral moment?" Joel smiled, cool and collected. "I think what my husband said spoke louder than anything I could have added. He wasn't defending me. He was defending respect." Boom. That line alone hit 1 million views by noon. Then came the invites. Fox News, CBS Morning, even the Today Show. They all wanted Joel and Daniel together. America had seen couples fight for attention, but this couple, they were fighting for each other. Backstage at Fox, Joel turned to Daniel before the cameras rolled. "You sure about this?" He shrugged. "Not a fan of the spotlight, but if it helps remind guys like Will to think twice, count me in." That night, the interview aired. Millions tuned in. And when Daniel said it wasn't about defending his honor, it was about reminding people that not everyone with a mic deserves to use it. Twitter lit up again. People called them the modern power couple of faith, a fusion of grace and backbone. And the actor, he watched it all from a hotel room, expression tight. He picked up his phone and finally called his lawyer. The manila envelope arrived by courier. No label, no logo, just wait. Joel opened it at his ministry's office desk. Daniel sitting nearby with a coffee in hand. Inside a thick legal document at the top, notice of defamation concern. William Smith. It was official. The actor Will Smith had just threatened to sue. The language was slick but sharp. The comments made by Mr. Osteen and Mr. Whitmore have caused reputational damage. Failure to issue a public apology may result in legal action. Joel let out a slow breath and smiled, not with fear, but with focus. Daniel raised an eyebrow. "He's really going there?" "Yeah," he replied. "He picked the wrong opponent." That night, Joel didn't go on TV. He didn't post a fiery tweet. Instead, Setting it in, he opened an old encrypted file folder saved on a flash drive. It had one name, Lakewood Outreach 19. He plugged it into his laptop and typed in a 10-digit password. Daniel watched from across the room. "You're opening that?" Joel nodded. "If Will wants a public war, I'll give him a public record." Inside the folder were emails, screenshots, a timeline. Back in 2018, during a major community outreach event in Los Angeles, the actor Will Smith had backed out of a sponsorship deal last minute after making strong promises to a group of local charities and families. Joel, then expanding his ministry's outreach, had witnessed it. He had documented it quietly. At the time, it wasn't his battle to fight. But now, this isn't about revenge, he whispered. It's about pattern. He humiliates people, dismisses genuine service, then hides behind image. By morning, Joel had his team draft a simple but blistering statement. "We have received the actor Will Smith's legal threat. As someone who upholds truth for a living, I am not intimidated by celebrity lawsuits, but I am very interested in releasing full records regarding Mr. Smith's behavior toward community outreach programs. If he would like a public discussion, I am happy to schedule one in court and or on camera." The internet detonated. Faith-based circles celebrated. Moderates leaned in. Even liberal-leaning community leaders began sharing personal stories. "I was there in 19. Joel isn't lying. He ghosted our community center the day of the event. We were humiliated. And the actor, he was in a crisis room holding the phone in one hand and his PR manager in the other. What the hell does he have?" he barked. No one answered because no one knew how far Joel Osteen was willing to go. The set was darker than usual. Spotlights trained on a single seat in the center of the Fox News primetime studio. A silver microphone, a single sheet of glassy paper under Joel Osteen's hand. The flash drive rested silently beside it, marked in black ink. Lakewood Outreach 19. Host Tucker Green introduced him with barely concealed anticipation. "Tonight, we welcome pastor, television preacher, and businessman Joel Osteen, not just for commentary, but to respond to a lawsuit threat by actor Will Smith." The camera cut to Joel. No smile, no bravado, just clarity. "I was threatened this week legally by a man who mocked my husband's service and then couldn't handle the public response." That man was the actor Will Smith. The room went silent. "But I've learned something working in ministry. People who hide behind power rarely expect to be confronted with truth." He slid the flash drive forward. This file contains email exchanges, memos, and direct communications from 2019, documenting Will Smith's sudden withdrawal from a community outreach event that left over 100 families and local charities without the promised funding or appearance he had pledged. This was not a scheduling conflict. It was a decision, one he never apologized for. Tucker blinked. Even he didn't know he was going that far. Joel turned toward the camera now, millions watching. "You sued me, Mr. Smith, claiming I harmed your reputation. But what I have here isn't hearsay, it's your own words. So if we're going to court, I'll be bringing this. But if you want to drop the lawsuit, I'm willing to consider a public apology to the community members and charities you ghosted." Online chaos ignited like a second lightning strike. The hashtags returned. Joel strikes back. Outreach file honor over Hollywood on Reddit. Community organizers posted photos from the 2019 event. Half-empty tables confused families. One wrote, "My kids waited all day for Will. We were told he'd show." Joel's telling the truth. CNN couldn't ignore it. Neither could NBC. And the actor? He stayed quiet. Too quiet. His lawyer refused interviews. His publicist declined comment, and on his own X account. Radio silence. Daniel leaned over at home watching the broadcast on his laptop. He's not going to say a word, is he? Joel shook his head. He already said enough on paper. The shock waves from Joel's on-air revelation didn't stop at faith-based circles. Hollywood, glittery, guarded, and famously silent when its owner called out, shook. The Lakewood Outreach 19 file was real. Several studio insiders leaked internal memos from that year, confirming Will's cancellation wasn't due to scheduling, but to branding concerns over the charity's local, non-glamorous affiliations. Too grassroots, too religious, read one line from a Smith team assistant. The story exploded. Headlines shifted from tabloid gossip to reputational reckoning. But no one expected what came next. Enter Keanu Reeves. Quiet, respected, a man who kept to himself until now. He took to X Twitter with a rare statement. "I was invited to the same 2019 community outreach event. I attended. Will didn't. I saw the disappointment on those faces." Joel Osteen spoke the truth. And communities deserve better than being forgotten for optics. Boom! The tweet hit 5 million views in hours. Hollywood reporters gasped. Keanu Reeves had just broken the code, calling out a fellow A-lister to defend Joel Osteen. Within hours, others followed suit. A-list actor anonymously told Variety, "We've all seen Will skip out on things when it doesn't benefit his brand. Joel just had the receipts." A prominent producer tweeted, "The arrogance of mocking a Marine's family, then trying to sue them." Joel had every right to clap back. A liberal columnist on Substack wrote, "You don't have to agree with his theology to see what's right. Will lost this battle the moment he made it personal." Meanwhile, Joel stayed silent. No gloating, no retweeting. When asked by reporters if he saw Keanu's statement, he simply said, "That took courage. I respect it deeply." The actor Will Smith's team grew frantic. "We need a counter-narrative," his publicist said. "No," Will growled. "We need this to die." But it was too late. Even late-night comics, once friendly, joked nervously. Will Smith challenged a Marine's husband and got knocked out by a flash drive. Daniel, watching quietly from their kitchen, smiled faintly. "Did you ever think Keanu Reeves would back you up?" Joel smirked. "I was hoping Denzel Washington, but I'll take it." It began quietly. An anonymous article appeared on a small gossip blog. Is Joel Osteen really the man of faith he claims to be? The piece was vague references to alleged staff mistreatment, whispers of internal ministry conflict, and claims that he used his husband's military service to boost his image. New sources, new documents, but it had the actor Will Smith's fingerprints all over it. By noon, 4 more blogs picked it up. By evening, a trending hashtag appeared, Osteen Lies. But this time, people didn't buy it. Joel wasn't shocked. He knew how the machine worked. When you couldn't win on stage, you pulled strings in the dark. Daniel handed him the phone. "You want to respond to this?" He shook his head. "No, not yet. I want him to think it's working." What the actor didn't know was that Joel had already prepared for this move weeks ago. He had seen it happen to others. Smear campaigns, reputation sabotage, anonymous leaks. So, he built his firewall early. Employee satisfaction surveys, staff exit interviews, video clips of community members he'd helped over the years. Never publicized until now. He compiled it all into one package, called it Truth Over Spin, and he dropped it all in a single post on X. Some people fight in the open, others fight in the shadows. "I prefer receipts. Here is mine." Attached was a 2-minute video montage. Church members hugging him at events. Staffers praising his leadership. A prominent faith leader's statement. Joel Osteen shows more honor in his pinky than most in an entire career. It hit 10 million views in less than 6 hours. And just like that, Osteen Lies turned into Osteen Leads. Even Keanu Reeves reposted it with 3 words. This is integrity. The actor Will Smith's inner circle panicked. His lawyer stepped in. He's building a legal fortress. We can't go on with the lawsuit. His PR rep added, he's not just fighting back. He's winning hearts. You've made him bigger. The actor stared at the screen, watching his video loop again. He was once the star that made America believe in heroes. But now America had a new one, and he didn't need a box office. The actor Will Smith never made a statement. No retraction, no apology, no press conference, just silence. 2 days after Joel's video went viral, his legal team quietly dropped the defamation threat. No fanfare, no comment. It was over. But for Joel Osteen, it wasn't enough to win quietly. He had one more thing to say. At the annual Faith and Community Summit in Virginia, where ministry families, community leaders, and volunteers gathered under one banner of hope, Joel stepped onto the podium in a navy blue suit, his calm demeanor gleaming under the fall sun. The crowd fell silent. Some expected a victory speech, a jab at Hollywood, a final blow. But Joel gave them something else. A few weeks ago, someone with power mocked the man I love. Not just his service, but the values that define him. And when we stood up, we weren't fighting for public opinion or applause. We were fighting for what too many people in this country are too afraid to defend. Honor, faith, respect. The applause was thunderous, but he raised his hand gently, asking for quiet. This isn't about the actor Will Smith. It never was. This is about every family who's been belittled for what they believe. Every husband who's been told he's too gentle or too spiritual. Every person of service who's been forgotten when the camera stopped rolling. I didn't win this because I had more followers. I won this because I refused to be silent. The audience rose to their feet. Even some in the press section wiped their eyes. Daniel stood at the edge of the stage, arms folded, watching his husband stand taller than ever. Keanu Reeves had sent a letter. It was read aloud. Courage isn't always bullets or battlefields. Sometimes it's standing up with truth when the spotlight tries to blind you. That night, major outlets ran headlines, not about Will, but about Joel's message. Joel Osteen ends the fight with grace and power. From lawsuit to leadership, how one pastor outshined Hollywood. Not just a voice for faith, a voice for millions. Back home, Joel placed the now famous flash drive back in a drawer. Not as a trophy, as a reminder, I didn't win this because I'm perfect, he said to Daniel. I won because I stood when others sat. Some people think fame protects you, but today we saw that truth speaks louder to Hollywood's loudest voices. Joel didn't just fight back, he rewrote the script. If this story shook you, imagine what's coming next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss the next moment where truth flips the narrative. This is Surprising Stories, where every voice matters and no spotlight is too bright for the truth. See you in the next one.